80% of Americans are shackled by consumer debt, carrying heavy balances that feel like a permanent, inescapable tax on their future. You stare at the credit card statements, the lingering student loans, and the massive car payments, and it genuinely feels like you are shoveling sand against the incoming tide. Every hard-earned paycheck vanishes before it even lands in your checking account, eaten up by minimum payments that barely make a microscopic dent in the actual principal balance you owe. I know that suffocating feeling intimately, but I also know the exact roadmap to break free and completely transform your financial future. My name is Nolan, and I am here to tell you that the very payments dragging you down right now contain the blueprint for your eventual wealth. We are going to turn that heavy burden into an unstoppable engine for financial freedom, building an unshakable foundation from scratch. The trap most people fall into is trying to tackle everything at once, spreading their extra cash so thin that progress is virtually invisible. You throw an extra $20 at a massive student loan, see the balance drop by a fraction of a percent, and immediately lose all motivation to keep sacrificing. It is a strictly mathematical approach that completely ignores human psychology, setting you up for inevitable burnout and frustration. This is exactly where the debt snowball method comes in to completely change the game and give you your power back. Instead of worrying about mathematics and interest rates, you simply list all your debts from the smallest balance to the largest, regardless of the APR or the specific loan terms. You pay the absolute minimum required on everything except that smallest debt, and you attack that tiny balance with every single spare dollar you can possibly find in your budget. When you finally cross that first debt off your list, something incredible happens in your brain. You get a massive hit of dopamine, a tangible victory that proves you actually have the power to change your circumstances. That psychological win fuels your discipline, transforming a tedious chore into an exciting challenge where you are finally in the driver's seat. Financial experts often advise paying the highest interest rate first, a method known as the avalanche, but studies show that people who use the snowball method are far more likely to actually become completely debt-free. It turns out that personal finance is about 20% head knowledge and 80% behavior. I will be revealing the ultimate secret of how this exact behavioral trick directly builds millions in net worth a little later on, but first, we need to find the fuel for your snowball. To generate that extra cash, you need a zero-based budget, which simply means assigning every single dollar a specific job before the month even begins. Your income minus your expenses, savings, and debt payments must equal exactly zero. This leaves absolutely no room for money to mysteriously slip through the cracks on impulse buys or forgotten monthly subscriptions. If you struggle with overspending in specific categories like groceries or dining out, the envelope system is a highly effective, tactile solution. You pull out physical cash for those trouble spots, place it in an envelope, and when the money is gone, you completely stop spending. It forces a hard stop on your purchasing, creating immediate boundaries that digital cards simply cannot enforce. Before you throw every last penny at your creditors, you absolutely must establish a starter emergency fund of at least $1,000. This cash acts as a crucial buffer between you and life's inevitable surprises, like a blown tire or a surprise medical bill. Without this foundational shield, a single unexpected expense will force you right back into borrowing, destroying your hard-earned momentum in an instant. Sometimes, simply cutting your expenses is not quite enough, and you need to aggressively increase your income to get the snowball rolling much faster. Identifying and starting simple side hustles like freelance writing, driving for a local delivery service, or selling valuable items you no longer use can inject hundreds of extra dollars into your monthly budget. Every single dollar from these extra focused efforts goes directly toward destroying that smallest debt balance, accelerating your repayment tremendously. Once that smallest balance is completely gone, you take the exact amount of money you were paying on it and roll it into the minimum payment of the next smallest debt. The amount you are paying on that second debt suddenly grows substantially, attacking the principal with a ferocity you never thought possible. Your payments grow larger and heavier as they roll down your list, exactly like a snowball rolling down a snowy mountain. That familiar weight of debt slowly begins to lift as you knock out one account after another. You are no longer just surviving, you are actively dismantling the chains that kept you tied to your creditors. The momentum becomes entirely self-sustaining, and what once felt like a lifelong sentence suddenly looks like a highly achievable, short-term project. Now comes the secret I promised you earlier, the true magic of this entire process. The day you make your final debt payment, you suddenly have hundreds or even thousands of dollars in freed-up cash flow every single month. You do not absorb this money back into your lifestyle. Instead, you redirect that massive, unstoppable snowball straight into wealth building. You transition from paying interest to earning it, specifically leveraging compounding interest. Compounding interest is simply the interest you earn on your original money, plus the interest you earn on the interest that has already piled up. It is the mathematical phenomenon that turns small, consistent investments into staggering fortunes over long periods of time. A major mistake people make at this exact transition point is inflating their lifestyle, buying a new car or a bigger house simply because they suddenly have the cash flow. They abandon the fierce discipline that got them out of the hole, trading long-term financial independence for short-term luxury. You must fiercely protect that newly freed capital and deploy it immediately into the financial markets. Your very first step into the investing world should utilize tax-advantaged retirement accounts, specifically an IRA or a 401k. An IRA, or individual retirement account, is a personal savings plan that offers specific, powerful tax benefits for your future, while a 401k is a highly similar plan sponsored directly by your employer, often including free money in the form of a company match. These specific accounts are the absolute bedrock of long-term wealth accumulation for beginners, shielding your money from taxes while it grows. Inside those retirement accounts, you do not need to pick individual winning stocks. Instead, you can buy an ETF. An ETF, or exchange-traded fund, is a basket of different investments bundled together into one single entity that you can buy like a regular stock. Buying an ETF provides immediate diversification, which simply means spreading your money across many different companies so that if one fails, your entire portfolio does not crash. The shift from borrower to owner is the most profound transformation you will ever experience in your financial life. You are no longer working tirelessly to enrich banks and credit card companies. Every dollar you invest is a tireless employee working around the clock exclusively for you. The clarity from that first budget review continues to guide your decisions, but now the horizon is filled with massive opportunity instead of constant dread. To ensure you never fall off track, you must automate your investments just like you automated your essential monthly bills. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your investment accounts on the exact day you get paid. This guarantees that you are paying yourself first, completely removing human error and the dangerous temptation to spend from the equation. As your wealth grows, you will inevitably face market downturns and economic panics that deeply test your resolve. The urge to pull your money out and retreat to safety will be incredibly strong. But selling during a dip is a guaranteed way to lock in permanent losses. You must remember that the market has historically always recovered, and these temporary dips are actually incredible opportunities to buy more assets at a steep discount. The power of compounding still works its magic, even when the market looks bleak and unpredictable. Because you established an unshakable foundation and eliminated your high-interest obligations, you have the patience to let time do the heavy lifting. Your wealth is no longer dependent on your daily labor. It is growing exponentially in the background of your life. Real financial freedom is not about buying private jets or flashy watches. It is about buying back your own time. It is the profound ability to walk away from a toxic job, to take a year off to raise your children, or to start a passionate business without the terrifying fear of starvation. It is the ultimate peace of mind that comes from knowing you are completely insulated from sudden financial disaster. This journey completely rewrites your family tree, changing the trajectory of your life and the lives of those who come after you. The discipline you forged while attacking those tiny credit card balances has evolved into a lasting legacy of prosperity. You have proven that true wealth is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It is the natural, guaranteed result of focused, intentional action. So your assignment for today is crystal clear. Gather every single statement, log into every account, and list your debts from smallest to largest. Create that zero-based budget. Find your starter emergency fund and prepare to attack that first balance with absolutely everything you have. You are building the snowball today, and tomorrow you will push it over the edge. The road ahead requires sacrifice, but the reward is a life of absolute security and boundless opportunity. You have the tools, you have the proven strategy, and you have the personal power to take control right now. Start small, stay relentless, and watch as your debt snowball accelerates into an unstoppable force for your lasting wealth.